Get you guys to clap along. Nine, 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 nine. One more time. Get your hands up a little higher. Nine, 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 nine.
Started on page 10, Yadid Nefesh. Yadid Nefesh. Avarachaman. Mishoch Avdach. Eretzonach. Yavut Avdach. Kemo Sing where Hadona'eh. Hadona'eh. Ziv ha'olam. Nafshi chola. Ahavata. ותרפא בהיצלך שפחת עולם ותגהמו ותחיימו יא רחמך בחוסנה אבין אוהבך כי זה כמה נגסוף ליבו בתפארת עוזך אנא אלי מחמא ליבי חושנה ואל תצלם. Last verse. He got the night ופרוס חביב עלי את סוכת שלומה תאיר ארץ מגבודה נגילה ונשמחה בה מהר אהוב כי בא מועד וכונני כי מעולם.
Here, you know the words here.
Ya na 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 ya na 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 na
Shabbat Shalom and welcome everybody. For those sitting in the sun, there's still a couple of spaces to grab where you can move your bodies not so you're staring straight into the sun. People coming later are going to be in trouble. But it'll drop down pretty soon. Welcome everyone. You join me in taking a deep breath. Kind of letting go of the week, letting go of whatever freeway took you here, letting go of whatever tasks needed to be done in order to get into Shabbat, letting go of leading a whole bunch of little kids through a county fair in 95-degree heat, letting go of whatever it was this week that brought you down, made you exhausted, and just starting to transition into a place of Shabbat. We have a slightly different sound going this Friday night, the Shabbat Under the Stars. We won't have stringed instruments. We're not going to have guitars this Shabbat. We are only doing drums, and that's acknowledging that we are coming into the 9 days that lead up to Tisha B'Av, the 9 days that lead into the Jewish day of mourning for all of the tragedies of the past, including the destruction of the temples. And the tradition was to avoid using instruments, avoid even listening to music during this time. And so Cantor Amy and I were trying to find a compromise. How do we have Shabbat Under the Stars, which is such a rich and musical night, but how do we acknowledge also the moment that we're in the Jewish calendar? And so we came to the idea that tonight, rather than playing instruments, there's just going to be the heartbeat the percussive sound of the drums blending together, and that's going to give us the lift that we need to fill the space up with song. So we're gonna drum together, and you can join in that with some clapping and some drumming on your books. We're gonna sing together. We're gonna fill up this courtyard, and we're gonna start to transition into Shabbat. Begin on page 11 with L'chudna Ranana.
So you repeat after me. I know you know this, so sing it out. L'chudna Ranana.
L'chudna Ranana.
Nekad mafana, betoda,
bizmiro,
nami alo, lechune ranina ladonai, nabil itzu yishenu, nekad mafana betoda. Feeds me but now be alone. Lechune running a ladonai. Now be a little you shenu. Nekad mapana betoda. Feeds me but now be alone. Ki gadol Adonai. Umelekadol kol Elohim. Asher biadom mechkari aretz. Betofot harim lo. Asher lo hayam be'asahu, v'yabeshet yadav yatzaru, bo nishtachave v'nichra, nivracha lifnei Adonai Oseinu. Lechune ranana Adonai. Sing it out. Navia letzu yishenu, nekad mafana v'toda, b'zmirot navia lo. Lechune ranana Adonai. Navia letzu yishenu, nekad mafana v'toda, b'zmirot navia lo. Ki hu Eloheinu, v'anachnu amarito v'tzon yado, hayom im bekolot tishma'u, al takeshu levavchem kimriva, ki yom masa b'midbar, asher nisuni avotechem, v'chanuni gam ra'ufo ali. Lechune ranana Adonai, navia letzu yishenu, nekad mafana betoda, b'nivot navia lo. Lechune ranana Adonai, navia letzu yishenu, nekad mafana betoda, b'nivot navia lo. Now you repeat after me. Arba'im shana, akud bedo, va'omar, am toyei levavchem, vehem lo yadeu, derachai. Now we're together. Asher nishbati b'api, im yava'un el menuchati. We're turning over to page 13. And let's just get this groove going. And I think last time I taught you there's two parts to this song, so we're going to learn the second part first and then the first part. It goes like this. Shiru ladonai. Shiru, shiru ladonai. Let's sing it again.
Shiru ladonai. Shiru, shiru ladonai.
for us? We're going to sing it again.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash.
In the middle, it's like this. Sing unto God all the earth a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Back to the beginning.
Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir
One more of those.
chadash. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash.
We'll turn the page over to page 14. Yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz.
ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגי הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגי הארץ. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umlo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umlo. I said Yismechu hashamayim,
Hashamayim.
Yismechu hashamayim,
Hashamayim.
Yismechu hashamayim. Tagel haaretz, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim, yismechu hashamayim. Tagel haaretz, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam, umlo. Yiram hayam, Yiram hayam. Yiram hayam umelo.
Repeat after me. Yismechu hashamayim
Yismechu hashamayim
v'tagel haaretz.
V'tagel haaretz.
Yiram hayam
Yiram hayam.
Yalo sada
Yalo sada.
v'chol asher bo.
V'chol asher bo. Azirenu.
Kol atzeya
Kol atzeya.
Lifnei Adonai kiva
Lifnei Adonai kiva.
Yishpot
Kiva lishpot haaretz.
Together.
ישפוט הבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו.
We're going to turn over to page 15. We're on Psalm 97. Let's get this groove. It goes like this. Or zabua la tzadiku yishre lev simcha.
16.
Or zabua la tzadik uyishre lev simcha. Let's do it again. Or zabua la tzadiku yishre lev simcha. Or zabua la tzadik Second part's like this. Simchu tzadikim ba'Adonai, ba'Adonai, behodu lezecher kodsho, lezecher kodsho. Or Zarua. One more of those. Or Zarua. Or Zarua. L'tzadikul yishvei lev simcha. Or Zarua. L'tzadikul yishvei lev simcha. All right, we're going to turn the page again. We're on page 17. All right. Mizmo shiru l'Adonai shir chadash ki niflaot asa Hoshia lo yamino uzero akodesho hodia Adonai Yeshuato le'enei hagoyim gilatit kato zachar chazo be'emunato lebeit Yisrael ra'u chol avsei aretz et Yeshuat Eloheinu haviu l'Adonai kol haaretz pitchu v'ranenu ve'zameru zamru l'Adonai bechinor b'kol zimera b'chatzotro b'kol shofar habiu lifnei hamelech Adonai yiram umelo dever beyoshbeva neharot yimcha uchav yachar hari yeranenu lifnei Adonai kiba lishpot haaretz yishpot tevel betzedek be'amim be'meshari yanai nai 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 yanai nai nai yanai nai nai hayai yanai nai nai yanai nai 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 yanai nai nai yanai nai. All right, let's keep it going. We're going to turn the page to page 21. And we're going to change in just a minute. Mizmor leDavid, Havul Adonai b'nei Elim.
Please rise as you are able.
Havul Adonai kavod va'oz. Havul Adonai kavod shemo yishach. Havul Adonai v'hadrat kodesh. Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim. Adonai al mayim rabim. Kol Adonai b'koach yanai kol Adonai behadar kol Adonai shover arazim v'shaber Adonai et azeh havanon
seats. What we've been doing is making our way through a series of Psalms that's meant to be a guided meditation of sorts that takes us from Sunday to Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday, walks us through the course of the week, its highs, its lows, its joys, its challenges, to bring us to this moment, this Friday evening moment, the moment when Shabbat will be welcomed in with Chadodi. Before we officially bring in Shabbat and transition from weekday into the Sabbath day, we're going to light candles. And I want to invite forward all of our counselors from Camp B'nai Ruach, together with their fearless leaders, together with Sherry and with Todd. If I can have all of the counselors come on forward and come on over to the candles over this corner, over this way. Thanks, Ma. Just go where my mother is. It's where the party always is. And as they're making their way forward, just say it is a special joy to work here at CBI during the 5 weeks of Camp B'nai Ruach when the building fills up with dozens and dozens of kids. I think 95 kids this week, all having absolutely the time of their lives and doing it because of the work, the incredibly hard work of all of these people, and particularly the incredibly hard work, the visionary work of our youth director, Sherry Galante, who is just extraordinary. Is a fabulous, fabulous treasure who makes all of this possible and even makes it look fun, and is going to deserve the world's biggest nap after next week. I'm not committing to that. Talk to the board. But I will invite you to light candles, Sherry, if you would, on behalf of the whole staff. And we need Louise, who joins our camp staff every summer. Easily winning fan favorite amongst the kids, year over year over year, undisputed. So Sherry, if you would light candles for us, and we can collectively bring in the light of Shabbat. All they need to do is stay lit long enough to say a blessing. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine.
This little light of mine.
There we go. See, she makes the impossible possible. So we'll join with Sherry and with her whole staff.
Amen.
Thank you for bringing this incredible gift of camp to us. Thank you for making a wonderful summer for CBI's kids and the Jewish kids of Orange County. We're really so, so grateful for all of the work that you're doing. You're amazing, each and every one of you. We're going to turn to welcoming in the spirit of Shabbat with the Chadodi. We'll sing it together. In the last verse, we'll stand and turn and face the gate as if to symbolically welcome the presence of the Sabbath as a lover, as a queen, as a bride, as the one we've been waiting for. The Chadodi begins on page 23.
Hum diddy dum diddy le chadodi. Hum diddy dum diddy li grad kala. Hum diddy dum diddy pene Shabbat ne kabela. Here we go. Hum diddy dum diddy le chadodi. Hum diddy dum diddy li grad kala. Hum diddy dum diddy pene Shabbat ne kabela. Lecha dodi lecha dodi lihikra kala pene Shabbat pene Shabbat nekabela Shamo vezacho bedibo echad hishmianu el hameyuchad Adonai echad ushmo echad l'shem hotiferet velitila Lecha dodi Lecha dodi lihikra kala Pene Shabbat לקראת שבת לכו ונרחקים מכל הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לך דודי לקראת קלה. I'm gonna do one more verse. פני שבת פני שבת keep going. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומיצאים מתוך הפיכה רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה הוא יחמו עלייך חמלה לך דודי לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת פני שבת נקבלה hum diddy dum diddy lecha dodi hum diddy dum diddy likrat kala hum diddy dum diddy pene shabbat nekabela. Let's flip over to page 25 and let's do the last three. All right, we're going to change to 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, this song is we do this melody only one time a year, and it's this Shabbat. This is Shabbat Chazon. It's the Shabbat right before Tisha B'Av. This is the melody of Elision. Goes like this. Lecha dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Behayulim shisa shosayich berachaku kumevalayich yasis alayich Elohayich kimsos chatav al kala lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Yaminu smo tifrotzi ve'etz Adonai taritzi aliyadish ben parzi ben ismecha ben nagila lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likra kala b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Rise and face toward the gates, welcoming in the spirit of Shabbat to be with us.
בואי ושלום עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם הסגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי לקרא קלה,
בני שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקרא קלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
You may sit down. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir liyom haShabbat. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir liyom haShabbat. Let me hear you.
Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir le'om haShabbat. Mizmor, mizmor, shir, shir le'om haShabbat.
The whole wide world is waiting to sing a song of Shabbos. The whole wide world is waiting to sing a song of Shabbos. Let me hear you.
The whole world is waiting to sing a song
on page 28, and I know you all know this. We're going to just cut out all the percussion and just sing this one, because I know you know this, and I'm putting Lee off on the spot. You'll lead us on this? All right.
Sheturim bevet Adonai bechasrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun b'tzeva deshenim veranayim ilu lehagid Adonai utzuri tzuri velo avlata bo.
We pause for a moment to invite those who are remembering a loved one to stand and to offer Kaddish on page 30, in tribute to the idea that people die, but love doesn't. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah,
Amen.
Amen.
v'yalma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kariv v'yimru.
Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Olmei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitromam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Dekudisha Richu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Damiran B'alma V'yimru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Amen.
Before we transition into Mariv, want to give us an opportunity just to look around and acknowledge who is here to offer welcome. We have amongst us some new faces. If you're here and visiting CBI for the first time and you feel comfortable, if you want to give a little wave just so people can look and see, there are a few folks over here. Aaron, put your hand down. There are a few folks over here, and a few folks over here visiting for the first time, a few faces we haven't seen in a while, and just want to welcome you all here. Shabbat under the Stars is really one of our favorite things, and it's wonderful to have a full patio full of life, full of all the generations. The Dancing Girls was an extra special thing happening. It's really very sweet to be with you. I want to tell a story tonight that's a story about blame, which is a big topic in the world right now. A story about blame. And I want, as I tell this story, it's going to be familiar to some of us, to ask the question of who is to blame for the tragedy that comes at the end of the story. As you're listening, who's to blame? So it happened that a long, long time ago, while the temple still stood in Jerusalem, that a very wealthy man threw an annual party, which was the social event of the season. It was the party not to be missed, and there would be ample food and even more wine. All of the who's who of Jerusalem were to be there. Every year before giving this party, the host would write out the invitations by hand himself and send them out by couriers all across the land of Israel. And he always gave special instruction to his messengers to be careful with one invitation. Because as it happens, this man had a best friend and a worst enemy whose names sounded almost exactly alike. His best friend was a man named Kamsa, and his worst enemy, a man named Bar Kamsa, and he wanted to be absolutely sure that the invitation got to the right place, and what a social disaster it would be if it did not. This worked every year except for 1 year, when one messenger perhaps wasn't paying as much attention as he might have, or perhaps wanted to stick it to the boss, we'll never know, and deliver the invitation to a certain Kamsa instead into the hands of a Bar Kamsa. The evening of the party was perfect. Everybody was there. The food was delicious. The wine was flowing. Everyone looked amazing. And the doors opened up, and into the party strode Bar Kamsa, the worst enemy of the host. And a hush fell over the room. Everybody waited to see what would happen. And the host walked directly up to this man, took him by the shoulder and said, "What are you doing here? You know you're not welcome here." And Bar Kamsa, who perhaps knew that he was coming to be a provocateur, or perhaps thought that he was getting an invitation because maybe there had been a reconciliation, we'll never know, is embarrassed and says, "Please don't throw me out. Please don't. I'll pay for what I eat." And the host says, "Get out." And the man says, "I'll pay for half the party." And the host says, "Get out." And the man says, "I'll pay for the whole party. Just let me stay." And the host takes him by the shoulders and ejects him out of the room, throwing him down onto the dusty street. While the assembled crowd, the elites of Jerusalem, stand by and say nothing, maybe even gossip to each other, maybe even you hear a little bit of laughter. And Bar Kamsa is laying there on the street, his body bruised a little bit, but his ego bruised a lot, and he hatches a poison plan. He says, "I'll show not only the host, but I'll show all of the leaders of this land who said nothing when I was slandered." And he picks up and he goes to Rome. He goes to the great enemy of the Jewish people. He goes and gets himself an audience with Caesar himself. This is how angry the man is. He gets himself in to see the emperor. And he says to the Caesar, "The Jews are rebelling against you." Notice in this moment he says, not we, but the Jews. In his hurt, he has ceased to identify with his own people. "The Jews are rebelling against you." And Caesar says, "Are you sure? How can you tell?" And Bar Kamsa says, "I'll give you a test. You send me back home to Jerusalem with the finest calf that you can offer. And if the leaders of the land offer that calf as a sacrifice in tribute to your leadership and your good health, you will know that the Jews are with you. And if they reject the sacrifice, you will know that rebellion is afoot." And Caesar thinks this is a good plan and sends Bar Kamsa home with this calf. And no sooner does he leave the royal palace in Rome, but Kamsa takes from his pocket a knife and slashes the face of the animal, rendering it ritually unfit to be offered in the temple, which could only accept perfect and unblemished offerings to God. Bar Kamsa walks this damaged calf all the way from Rome to Jerusalem and delivers it to the leaders of the land and says, "What you gonna do?" And the majority of the leadership, the majority of the rabbis say, for the sake of peace, for the sake of the temple, for the sake of not being at war with Rome, we'll make this exception just this one time. We'll offer a blemished calf. But there was one among them, isn't there always one at every board meeting, who says, "We can't break the rules. The rules are there for a reason. There are policies in place for just this eventuality." And people will talk. People will say that blemished animals are being offered to our God. His name was Rabbi Zechariah, and he prevailed over his colleagues, and they rejected the sacrifice. And the story concludes in the Talmud, "Thus was our city burned, thus was our temple destroyed." This is a story about blame, right? It's a story about many people who could be to blame. Who are some of the people in this story who could be to blame? Let's hear a couple. Who do you blame? Who do you blame? One person. Who's to blame? Bar Kamsa. Why is Bar Kamsa to blame, Sarah? Bar Kamsa was a rat. In a mafia movie, he would wind up with concrete sneakers in the bottom of a river. Bar Kamsa went to Rome and provoked Rome to attack his own people. Bar Kamsa is a bad guy. Who else is to blame? The emperor. After all, it's the emperor's army, right? Bar Kamsa may be a guy with a grudge, but it's the emperor's army who comes and knocks down the walls of our city, who comes and destroys our temple stone by stone. Who else is to blame? The host of the party. Why the host? Say it one more time. The host should have been a little more open-hearted. He should have invited, Carl says Carl is very open-hearted, should have invited everybody to the party. Friends, enemies, join in. There's enough for everyone. And even if he was not so magnanimous, he sees his enemy walk in the door. What could he have done? Poured himself another drink and gone about his business. But instead, the host chose to throw this man out in the presence of everybody, to bruise his body, to bruise his ego, and to create an ultimately deadly enemy. Who else is to blame? Simon. The messenger. Blame the messenger, says Simon. Why is the messenger to blame, Simon? He messed up. If the messenger had just paid attention to directions and done what he was told, we would still be having barbecue in Jerusalem at the temple. And there would be stringed instruments tonight. The messenger screwed up. The host screwed up. Bar Kamsa screwed up. Caesar screwed up. What about God? If at any point God wanted to get involved, that would be nice. That can be said often. Maybe God could have, helped out a little bit, nudged things in the right direction. Note, who else was to blame? The guests at the party. Why the guests all? Right, it's one thing to be so aggrieved that you can't tolerate a person in your midst. But these guests presumably had nothing against Bar Kamsa. Somebody could have put their hand on the guy's shoulder. Somebody could have said, take a breath, take a beat, it's okay. Somebody could have spoken up, but instead, those bystanders chose to stand by. And the whole story could have been different. Pamela? Rabbi Zachariah, the rabbi with the you-know-what up his you-know-what. The rabbi who wouldn't be flexible even for the sake of defending his own people on a matter of ritual. I think we've named every character, and a couple of characters who aren't even named in the story. Steve, you got another one? But Kamsa, there's something to this Kamsa. And by the way, what does Bar Kamsa mean? It means son of Kamsa. So is this a father-son situation? And what situation is the best friend the father and the worst enemy the son? And I don't know, there's something fishy about that Kamsa too. This whole story is a story about blame. It's a story in which at every moment somebody is given an opportunity to do the right thing and they do exactly the opposite. At every moment, somebody could have stopped the snowball before it kept rolling down the hill. At every moment, somebody could have said, this stops with me. The messenger could have paid attention. Simon, you're absolutely right. But once the ball started rolling, Bar Kamsa could have chosen to stay home. And the host could have chosen to cool down. And the people could have chosen to speak up. And Bar Kamsa could have chosen to nurse his bruised ego with a scotch and not with a plot to destroy the Jewish people. Caesar could have sent this obviously deranged Jew home. The rabbis could have loosened up just a little bit and lived another day. At every point, somebody could have broken script. And instead, everyone chose to just be the smaller rather than the bigger person. There's a Talmudic phrase that is my single favorite, "B'makom she'ein anashim hishtadel lihyot ish." In a place where there's no human decency, strive to be a person. In the place where there's no decency, strive to be a person. At each and every juncture point, they missed the mark on that. Tisha B'Av, which starts on Wednesday night, is the reason why this service is a little bit different and it'll take place just this week. Tisha B'Av really marks the start of the High Holy Day season. It's the time when rabbis start to panic about, do we have sermon ideas? It's the time when cantors start to sing in the shower. It's the time when synagogue executive directors order themselves some Xanax from Mexico. It's a time when, Sandy, is that right? Where's Sandy Klein? Yeah, that's right? Yeah. It's the time when we start to move into the mode of preparing for the end of a year and its beginning. The challenge of High Holy Days is when we try to arrive at High Holy Days and do all of the spiritual work at once without having prepared. So I want to invite you, starting this week, to start thinking about what cycle you're trapped in, what script you're stuck in, what opportunity you might have to be the person who ends a particular story before that story winds up in tragedy. Is there an opportunity for you to say, Ad Kan, up till here and no further? Is there the opportunity for you to find decency in an indecent place? Is there the chance, if you really prepare, if you dig in deep, if we dig in deep, to start writing a new story this year? A story that doesn't end in destruction and despair, but a story that's the story of the beginning of a redemption. Shabbat Shalom. Mariv is on page 39. I invite you to rise.
I want to give a heads up. So we'll start here on page 39. When we turn to page 40, in just a moment, we're going to sing Ahavat Olam, and that leads us right into the Shema. Camp B'nai Ruach counselors and Sherry, come on up. When we turn to page 40, come on up here and be ready. So as soon as we're done singing Ahavat Olam, you'll be ready to lead us in Shema and Ve'ahavta, okay? It's coming up in just a second. You can be ready. I'll wave you on up, but I'm just letting you know. So let's get started. Page 39. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
You can take
melech
your
haolam
seats.
asher bidbaro ma'ariv arivim b'chokmat b'tev sharim u'bitfunam mesaneitim chalif azmanim at masabder kochavim Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uve laila. Adonai tzevaot shemo, el chai vekayam, tamid yimloch aleinu leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai, hamaviv aravim. We're on the top of page 40. Come on up. Ahavat olam. Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot,
Campers too, kids.
Anu limadeta.
Ken Adonai Eloheinu, Shovenu
Uvekumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam vaed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nehege yomam v'layla ve'ahavetecha tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
ויעם תשמעו מצוותיי אשר אנוכי מצווה אתכם היום לאהבת אדוני אלוהיכם בכל לבבכם ובנפשכם ותרתם את ארצכם ביהודה ובשמחה תעתי עצב בצדקכם הרב על זה תפסידים את ארצכם ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור דבר על בני ישראל במעלה ציצית על כאן PDT ציצית והיה להם ציצית למען תזכרו עשיתם מכל מצוותיי אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Turn to page 43. אמת באמונה כל זאת וקיים עלינו כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו באין זולתו ואנחנו ישראל עמו עבודנו מיד מלאכים מלכנו הגו עלינו בכף כל הביצים האל הנפלא לנו מיצרנו המשמש עושה גדולות אין חקר אין I'm on the top of page 44. Soon we'll be at Michamocha. ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה מרים ובני ישראל לך אנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם
מי כמוך מי כמוך באלים אדוני נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מי כמוך מי כמוך באלים אדוני נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מי כמוך מי כמוך באלים אדוני
נדר בקודש נורא
תהילות עושה פלא חנו זהלי אנו סליחה זהלי אנו ואמרו
מי כמוך מי כמוך מי כמוך באלים אדוני
נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מי כמוך מי כמוך באלים אדוני נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא חוטך ובניך בוקע ים לפני משה זהלי 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 אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך אדוני ימלוך אדוני לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך אדוני ימלוך אדוני לעולם ועד מי כמוך מי כמוך באלים אדוני נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא
לה 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 פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גא ישראל
us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel and save us for the sake of our name. Shield us. Shelter us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you, O God, watch over and deliver us. For you are sovereign, full of mercy and compassion. Watch over our goings and our comings, for life and for peace, now and always.
Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu l'chaim u'leshalom me'ata ve'ad olam uferos aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shelomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Haporei Sukkot Shalom, Aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Please rise as you are able on page 46.
Turn the page. V'shameru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם בברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ייקדע ויקדש שמי רבה, ועמד דברה קירותי והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביום איכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך ועלם ולעלמי עמיה יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ובריחו ואלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בעלמה וימרו amen.
For some of us, maybe for a lot of us, the wall of Hebrew that we've been doing for the last hour is as comfortable as could be on our tongues. It is our mother language. But there are many of us who are standing here for whom the words that we've been saying have been not a source of connection, but a source potentially of confusion, even alienation. And so we take a few minutes in the Amidah time to either continue to read in the book or to close the book, to either stay in the group or to find your own space, to close your eyes and to offer whatever words, whatever meditations are deepest in your heart or deepest in your soul, in whatever language you choose, addressed to whoever you choose, trusting that somewhere, somehow, there is a heart that listens.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amecha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha
Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amecha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Yigadav Yigadash Shemirabah Ve'amad Divra Kirute Ve'amlich Malchute B'chaye Chonav Yom Yechonav Chaye D'chol Beit Yisrael Bagalav Izman Kariv V'mibu Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabba Mevarach La'alam U'la'alamei Amaya Barak v'yishtabak v'par v'tromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata damiran be'elema v'mibu amen tikabal tzlotahon v'tachon d'chol Yisrael kol dam avohon v'ishmaya v'mibu amen yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'mibu amen Oseh shalom b'mromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'mibu amen.
This Shabbat, we, together with the Wolf family, remember Michael Wolf on his first yard site. And Saul Wolf will lead us in Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu. V'shabbat kodsho ba'avat uv'ratzon chinchalanu. Zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikrai kodesh. Zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta. Ve'otanu kidashta. Mikol ha'amim. Shabbat kodshecha be'ava uvratzon chinchaltan Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen.
Chaim, may Michael's memory continue to be a blessing to your whole family. And take your seat. Please rise as you are able for Aleinu. Page 56.
Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol la'teit gedula liotzer bereshit shelo asanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu kamishpechot ha'adama shelo sam chelkeinu kahem vegom aleinu kechol hamonam v'anachnu korim
ומשתחווים ומודים
לפני מלך מלכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושבי קרוב בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום בהושבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד. על כן נקבל לך אדוני אלוהינו לראות מרבה תפארת זכר להביא עולים מן הארץ עלים קרודי כמתום לכם אלו מכל שדי בכל בשר ובשמך להפנו לדרך כל ישי הארץ והגיעו כבדו שור שפתחי לך ככתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
May be seated, all those except those saying Kaddish. Page 58. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemir rabba, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'yimru. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru. May the memory of all of those who we love ever be a blessing to us. I should announce, unfortunately, the sad news that the father of Perry Bridger passed away just this afternoon. Those of you who know the Bridger family well know that Becky lost her father just 4 months ago. Perry is with his mother and with his siblings in France, where father passed away, and funeral details will probably be on the East Coast in Manhattan, where the family lived, and Shiva will be there. But if you wish after Shabbat to reach out to Perry and to Becky and send love, I know that they'll be appreciating and receiving that. And more details will be coming from the shul at the start of next week. It's a pleasure to invite up my friend, our president, Jacob Green. Let us know what's going on in our village.
Thank you, Rabbi, and welcome everyone to CBI. A special welcome to all those that you raised your hands earlier that are checking out our shul, our synagogue for the first time. We welcome you. And if you have any questions or anything that we can answer for you, help you navigate this expanding and growing, rapidly growing village, please come up afterwards, introduce yourself. We'd love to say hi. A big special thanks to the wonderful cantor Amy, to Carl Cedar, to Kevin, to Liav for the evening. I love the percussion transition tonight. Beautiful, amazing job as usual. And thank you, Rabbi, for guiding us through this evening. There's a dinner that follows tonight's services in the social hall. Don't worry if you haven't RSVP'd, that's okay. We'll take care of it, and it's all good. Enjoy the dinner with all of us tonight. Just 2 announcements. If you want to continue to celebrate and recognize our incredible clergy, August 18th and August 19th is our special installation weekend. August 18th, we will celebrate and install our great cantor, Amy Robinson Katz, with special guests. And then on Saturday morning at 9:30, we will recognize, celebrate, and install our Rabbi Adam Greenwald, who has just completed his first year with us here at CBI. And then Saturday evening is a very special celebration of our clergy. There is still space available. We do events pretty incredibly here at CBI. Please register RSVP by August 4th, right, Daveen? August 4th. It's going to be a very special evening, and childcare is available. So families are absolutely welcome to that event. And then finally, the last event I want to plug is our New Faces event. So if you joined CBI in the last year, or you are shopping around for a synagogue and trying to figure us out, then we welcome you to our New Faces event, our second annual New Faces event, August 27th, 9:30 to 11:30 here and inside. We'll have an opportunity to meet the clergy, meet the staff, meet our board members, and learn more about all the amazing things happening here in the village. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to call up all of the staff and campers and Sherry from Camp B'nai Ruach to help us close out with this final song.
As we're doing that, I just want to give one other shout out, which is to our religious school, which is open for registration right now. I see a lot of kids, a lot of families with kids. Please do come and talk to Samantha Hoffman, who is right over here, our new director of family and community learning. And also a big mazel tov and happy birthday to Samantha's daughter. Where is Dora? She went to bed. We'll be eating cake in her honor. Happy birthday to Dora. 3 is a delicious age.
There's a couple other birthdays we have to mention.
Ooh.
Yesterday, our very own Carl Cedar. Happy birthday. And coming up soon, Christine Groner. I know you have a birthday coming up, so I have to say. So I think we should sing to both of you. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Before we sing this final song,
Of course, Scott Nathan is included in that birthday song.
Happy birthday,
as we
Scott
all
Nathan.
knew. Yes.
Okay.
A lot of things to celebrate.
Yes. I just want to add that tomorrow morning at 9:30 for 1 hour in the FLC, there will be prayer song. For those of you who would like to join for that, 1 hour of contemplative singing in the FLC. Come join me tomorrow at 9:30. And we're going to close out. Ready? All right. Odevo Shalom Aleinu.
Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Let's all stand up.
Odevo Shalom Aleinu. 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 Odevo Shalom Aleinu.
Again, Odevo.
Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al
Last one, Odevo.
Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. One more Yasher Koach to our Camp B'nai Ruach counselors, to our assistant director, Todd Newhausen, and to our amazing youth director, Sherry. Yasher Koach to all of you for a great summer. Please do stick around and stay for dinner. RSVP'd or not, we want to have you here in our village. If you are new tonight, please come and introduce yourself to the clergy, to the board members with name tags. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Salam Shalom. Salam.
We have some keys belonging to a Fusion hybrid, a white Fusion hybrid. If you have a white Fusion hybrid and you left your keys, come get it. I need a new car.
Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu. Odevo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu כל העולם. סלאם שלום. סלאם עלינו ועל כל העולם. סלאם שלום. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם. One more time, שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם. סלאם שלום. סלום עלינו ועל כל העולם. סלאם שלום.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו, עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל כולם.
עוד יבוא שלום עלינו. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו. עוד יבוא שלום עלינו ועל